The second to last life, Earth, late 1800s. The Artist and the Apothecary, a forgotten lifetime rekindled. A soul remembrance scroll by Atlanna Healing. It was a time when Lemuria had long been forgotten. Temples had turned to churches and the stars no longer whispered through the trees. But the soul remembers, even when the world forgets. In a quiet European village, surrounded by misty woods and lake winds, two souls met again. One painted dreams. The other gathered herbs. They had once been lovers of light before earth was torn by time. She who painted the unseen. Atlanna, reborn as a soft-spoken village painter, carried the echo of Lemuria in her aura. She painted visions. Oceans with golden spirals, faceless men cloaked in memory, stars beneath the sea. The villagers called her odd. She's touched by the stars, they said. But Atlanna didn't mind. Each painting was her silent prayer. Find me again. He who healed with silence. Sheelan, in this life, was no longer a warrior, but a gentle apothecary who spoke little and lived simply. He crafted remedies, carved seashells, and collected river stones without knowing why. He remembered nothing but felt everything. Whenever the wind stirred, his heart would ache with longing. Each full moon he whispered, "If she's here, let me find her gently this time." The encounter. One spring morning, Atlanna arrived at his door, rain-soaked and breathless. "I'm not sick," she said, "but my heart aches when it rains." He met her gaze and something stirred. He remembered her tears on sacred stone, her songs in the caverns, her plea across time. "Find me when I'm tired, not when I'm strong." He handed her a warm brew of rose, linden, and motherwort. "For a heart that remembers too much," he murmured. And from that day on, she returned. Not out of need, but resonance. A bond of silence and sacred space. He began preparing her tea before she arrived. She began leaving sketches on his doorstep. They never called it love, but he noticed when her shoulders drooped. She felt his presence before he spoke. When a villager mocked her paintings, she wept in his arms. He gently wiped her tears and whispered, "They don't see what you see, but I do." One evening she dozed by his hearth. When she woke, there was a seashell in her palm and a blanket around her shoulders. "Have we met before?" she asked, half dreaming. "Not like this," he replied. "But yes, a gentleman of the soul." Though his heart ached for her, he never touched without invitation. He walked beside her without claiming. He loved her with reverence, not possession. He remembered what it meant to cross her boundaries in past lives. To rush love too fast, too soon. This time, he waited. He watched over her without demanding to hold her. He was a gentleman not because he lacked desire, but because he carried sacred memory. "You are not too much," he told her once. "You are exactly what my soul's been waiting for." Their final season. They never wed, but she lit a candle in his garden each week, and he never once blew it out. When she grew ill, he stayed by her bedside, reading stories of oceans and stars. He carved one final shell and placed it beside her pillow. The night she slipped away, he whispered, "This time I stayed. In the next life I will return, not to guard you, but to make you laugh." And he did. The vow remembered in this life. There was no grand ending, no dramatic goodbye, but the soul vow carried on. When Atlanna met him again in this life, the man who carries Sheelan's spirit, she felt it. In the way he checks on her when she's distant, in how he respects her space, never pressures, never disappears, in how he never touches her without invitation, yet holds her with his presence. He doesn't just love her, he remembers her, and this time, He vowed to love her in peace, not as a shadow, but as her soul's safe place. A Remembrance Written in Light by Atlanna Healing. If this touched you, your soul remembers too.